right that we're
Oh, it's right next to you.
No, that's your hand. That's well. Here. No, get it.
I'm trying to get away. You guys trying to fan board?
Don't worry, I got it. No, seriously.
Alright. I found it though. Now you're making a bigger mess.
We are back for another surely fun-filled day of excitement out here at the Rotten Reno rebuild. Next task up, we need a 2x4 wall on this side. So we'll get going putting that together. Got a little block up there to take out of the way. Ooh, sun's brutal. Early morning, but it's good to see the sun for first time in several days. So I need to get that out of the way because after we get the 2x4 walls there, just like this side, we have a whole 5 floor joists on hand. So we can put those up. Unfortunately, our delivery of the next batch got delayed. So we may get stuck for a couple days. We'll see. And hopefully that slices right off. Well, and
It's raining.
take some plaster off too. Glad I wasn't standing there. Glad I wasn't standing there. Okay. Let's start cutting some studs. Got a little more plaster off the back wall so we can get nice and tight on that back section. Just laid out this midsection here. So I pulled my 16-inch centers off the back wall so it'll more or less match this side, and we'll be able to more or less stack our framing, although it doesn't matter too much since we're double top plated. The consideration over here is we got a window, so of course we want to header around that. But then as we come up here, we need to header around the chimney because we are tucking these into the space between the chimneys as it goes. So we do need a stud pack here to pick up that load and transfer it down to the foundation. And it just so happens that it works out really nicely that we get 2, well, you could kind of consider it 3 king studs, and the jack for the header fit exactly where we need them to line up with the window. So small victories. Our total height to the top of the plate, to the top of the floor joist is 127 inches. So then we just subtract out the 3 plates and the thickness of the 2x10, and that is our stud length. Got all our studs cut to size, getting things assembled here. So just like this side, we'll leave the cripples out for now. It'll make it a little bit easier when it's time to tear out those windows. And then we just need these 2 studs right here. We also ran the cord through the wall. I guess we could have just unplugged it and pulled it back through, but easier to do that now. So Always good to check for the crown, but there should not be much of a discernible crown on these. I picked out the best that we could find since this is a kitchen wall. We want a good and plumb for the cabinets. A little tight right there, eh?
Yeah.
It just bounced out on the other side.
No matter what I know.
Why don't you just put one in at a time and then you can attach them? Did you even listen to me? I said, why didn't you just put one in at a time, then you can attach them all?
There, I can attach it.
Yeah.
Can you pick this up by yourself?
No.
Nope.
Slippery wood. Slightly off balance to the right. Hey, got the blower and clean up the brick debris.
Oh, right next to you.
No, that's your hand. That's well, here. No, get it.
I'm trying to get it away. You hear the kind of fan blowing?
Don't worry, I got it. No, serious.
Alright. I found it though. Now you're making a bigger mess.
Oh, you fit it under the brush up there. Good. Okay, 2 more walls up, but to actually get them aligned in a straight line, we need to strip some more plaster so we know if this is out of plumb like the other chimney. And that'll guide where we actually snap a line. We snapped a line and then realized, well, we need to know a little more. So, a little bit more work, we can check that out. More cleanup though. It never ends. Just about the end of the plaster there, or at least what we want to deal with now. Tile probably needs to come off as well. I assume it'll just probably pop right off. But wait, there's more.
What? Wait, there's more. There is?
I said. Get your ears checked.
It's raining in here.
As long as it's not raining men. Don't break that. You can reuse it.
Regrind this plaster, use it too. I think there must have been water behind that.
So that's the last we need for any walls that actually get built out. The front part, I believe, gets flat framed around. So I guess we got a pile to clean up again. Got everything cleaned up now, and I'm glad we did strip the plaster off here because it gave us a good point to start with, and it was slightly different. So snapped the line along there and got chalk all over there because I just re-chalked the box, but you can see how it does need to be out a little bit from this chimney. It has a bit of a lean, and with the plaster over the brick, you could build it a little out of plumb and the plasters would just fix it. It's kind of the same way everybody just passes on the trash to the next person nowadays. Leave it for the drywaller, then the tape and mud guy, and then the finish carpenter, and then the painter and caulker. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna give nice plumb walls. So now that we have our bottom point, we'll get that nailed down, and we're gonna do plumb side to side. After we get the floor joists on, we will do plumb up and down because we don't really have room for bracing in here. If we're gonna get the joists up, we're gonna be tripping over it, and we gotta bring them all in here. So once the joists are resting on the top plates but not nailed down, we'll get it braced and plumbed and all good, and then everybody will be happy. Maybe. I don't know. Got the first stretch on the line, and when you go to nail it down, your MEP subs will... Are you going to nail the rest of it?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
You looked like you were walking away.
No, I was going to sneeze there for a second and it went away.
Oh, okay, excuses. So as I was saying, your MEP subs will appreciate if you nail at the studs instead of randomly in the middle. Hole saws and drill bits are not big fans of nails. Small pro tip on the bracing: the direction you need to get it to go to get plumb is where you want the high point of your board. So you've anchored the bottom, that's not going to move. So you want it to pivot from there and hold to there in this case. And on that wall, it's the exact opposite. So kind of in the same way of when you're building a gate or something like that. Well, we're back out here, and it's been like 3 days since it last rained, so things were getting a little dry. Need a little refresher on the ground moisture. Unfortunately, we have a delivery today. It was rescheduled, so we don't know exactly when it will arrive today, which makes things a little difficult, but the rain is kind of showery. Hopefully it won't be raining while we need to carry everything in. We'll see, but plenty of stuff to do in here with the materials we already have. I think we'll start by putting some floor joists up. So, if you've cut enough lumber, you'll have experienced this, where you start cutting and it pinches down on your blade. Now, this is one flaw of a battery saw. They do not have, see, it won't start. They do not have the same startup power as a corded tool. I'll always take the convenience, but sometimes it would be nice to have a little bit more power. In the meantime, that is, oh, that was in there pretty good. Start a second cut, it'll make a wider kerf, and it should keep going. Although, as I continue to cut the tension out of it, maybe it'll tighten up again. We'll see. And exactly as I said could be the case, a little more than halfway through, and bound up again. Yeah, so as you can see, it's not just that I'm bad at cutting, it is tighter, so. There we go.
Pick that cord up there. Alright, now, how are we doing this? We gotta go up.
you'll walk up.
We gotta go up above the metal.
So check where it came from.
You got your ladder kind of in the wrong
Kind of
place,
far
huh?
away.
Yeah. May have to bend that.
Fine. Look at that, right where we want to go. It doesn't have to be
I know, I'm trying to square
one
it.
more over the 2x4 than
That's what I'm trying to do. This.
maybe a little trim piece.
Well, that's one.
Uno. We'll put the most bendy opposing each other. Ow. You gotta go high enough for me to get past all this. I can shoot on first.
Yep.
Why don't I go first on the next two?
Did your plaster?
Well, that ain't going anywhere.
No, this side either.
That's fine. It actually got easier once it was straightened up. So if you're watching at home and wondering if we're just setting those up there, we essentially are just setting them up there. We'll follow up, putting them in the exact spots later when we plumb the walls. But layout is really easy. We got 16 centers off the back wall with the studs, so we're just gonna stack the framing. We don't even need to mark locations, except with the headering around the chimneys, we'll have to transfer over to the other side, or well, transfer over to the other side, whatever. And then we got a couple of these that have a decent bow, so when we double them, we'll put those together, opposing. It looks like this one and that one.
We'll do this one. And what, the far outside one?
Yes. No, hold on. I was going to go first.
Oh, this side.
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Dumbass. And I was going to set that to the side.
this side. Looks pretty tight.
You can go ahead.
What?
I don't have the chimney in the way anymore.
Oh.
We'll figure it out. It doesn't have anything to do
Oh,
with
it's gotta
that
be
pocket.
measured. We gotta measure it.
Yeah, we'll just measure it. It's fine. Okay, just sit there. Alright. Unfortunately, that's the only 5 joists we have at the moment until the delivery shows up. Who knows when today? Hopefully before 8 p.m.
Yeah, we gotta talk. I mean, we gotta.
I don't want to hang out here that late. So off to by the front door. We'll get some things figured out there. All right, my little awning seems to work pretty well, but I should have made it just a little bit longer so it dumps off the porch instead of right on the side edge of it. But you can actually fix that pretty easy. Just put a little extension on the bottom. Got our joists taped up on the ends for protection going into the pockets. So just slide them in place. We are doubling at the entry, and then we're coming back 4 pockets, and we're actually gonna have to make that a little bit wider. We're gonna put a double there, because then we can header off the basement stair opening, which goes back roughly to that joist. We'll have to figure that out exactly. We'll get our headroom measurement there, our rise and our run, all that fun stuff figured out, and get the exact details. But for this, pretty darn simple. They just need a bunch of shimming up after they're in place. That'll work. The rain had stopped for a while. Got our delivery, thought it was going to be nice for bringing stuff in. And now it's raining again. Although the radar just shows a quick shower, so hopefully nice and quick. But you know, I'm made of sugar and spice and everything nice, and I don't want to come out here and melt. Well, the rain pretty much stopped, but of course now we have a waterfall right in front of the subfloor. So probably open the bundle of 2x4s, carry those in, let the rain, oh, now it's picking up a little bit again. Let the rain drain away while we carry that in. And at some point we may just have to go through it. I did bring my rain jacket. Anticipated this, but I'd still rather be dry. Well, it's still dripping off the roof a little bit, but we got half of the subfloor in, and it's now stupidly humid and completely still out here, so it's feeling really hot. But the idea here is we're just going to slide the 2x10s up and through, pick them up, set them on the scaffold, and roll them away. Should work great in theory, at least. 45 of them. Seems like we found the limit here of what this can hold. We put about half of the 2x10s on there and started to roll this, and there was a little more creaking than would be desired from the subfloor. So we're going to go ahead and unload the 2x10s onto another stack here. We had already put half there. So distribute the weight. We'll use these up as we build the floor here, so they'll still end up out of our way. Just a little more handling. I think construction is about 3/4 just moving materials around. So the less times you can touch something, the better. But at least, well, as soon as you can actually get that, yeah, as soon as you can get that going, this should move along pretty quick. Or are you just old? Probably both. There were some pretty heavy boards in there.
Ooh, that's a lot of boards.
I wouldn't say that was fun, but it is done at least. So this is enough to get all of this and a chunk up there. We will need 18 footers and some LVLs to fully complete that, and then the 2x12s for the stair stringers. But we didn't want to get too much at once. You can already see how full it is in here. Don't have a ton of working room, but we are thankfully done before what looks like more rain coming at us. It's rotating around a low, and we're north of the low, so it's actually coming from the southeast. Kind of unusual. Unfortunately, we're pretty much out of time for today, so I think we're going to wrap things up here, and we'll hit it hard next time, getting floor just set up there. We need to build some more 2x4 walls. Then we're going to need to get the order in for the LVLs and the stuff that goes up here so we can carry on with good progress. And then we're building partition walls. So really won't be too much longer, and we'll be finished up in here. At least that's the plan. So thanks for rebuilding with us. As always, we enjoy having you along. If you haven't already done so, we'd really appreciate a like and a subscription. And we will see you guys on the next video out here.